Hello friends, it's me again, Joseph, your host, and welcome back to our channel and the Catechism for Kids. Today we're going on an adventure back in time to meet a truly inspiring hero of faith from China. His name is Saint Thaddeus Liu Ruiting, and his story is all about courage, love, and trusting God no matter what. Are you ready? Let's get started. Imagine living in a place where just believing in Jesus was against the rules. That's what it was like in China about 200 years ago. And that's where our story begins. Saint Thaddeus Liu Ruiting was born in a county called Changlei in a big province called Sichuan. His Chinese name was Liu Ruiting. His life wasn't easy from the start. When he was just a little boy, only 2 years old, his father passed away. His mom worked very hard to take care of him, and they were very poor. A few years later, his mom remarried, and they went to live with his stepfather. But sadly, when Liu Ruiting was only 12, both his mom and his stepfather passed away too. He was all alone. But God had a special plan for him. Liu Ruiting found a job as a servant for a very kind Catholic priest. This priest saw something special in the young boy. He taught him all about Jesus and the Catholic faith. Liu Ruiting's heart was filled with so much joy learning about God's love. He decided he wanted to be baptized and follow Jesus forever. At his baptism, he chose the Christian name Thaddeus. Working with the priest, Thaddeus saw how much the priest loved and cared for people. He saw him celebrating Mass, helping the poor, and teaching everyone about God's mercy. Thaddeus felt a calling in his own heart. He thought, I want to do that too. I want to be a priest and spend my whole life sharing God's love with others. So, he decided to study to become a priest. It was a big decision, and it wasn't an easy path. Remember, being a Christian was dangerous back then, and being a priest was even more so. But Thaddeus was brave. He went to a special school called a seminary to learn everything a priest needs to know. He studied hard, prayed a lot, and finally, when he was 34 years old, a bishop named Gabriel Torin de Fres ordained him. He was now Father Thaddeus Liu Ruiting. Father Thaddeus was so happy. His dream had come true. He didn't waste a single moment. He started his work as a missionary priest, traveling all over the provinces of Sichuan and Guizhou. These areas were very mountainous and remote. He didn't have a car or a train. He walked everywhere, from one tiny village to another, sometimes for days and days. Why was he walking so much? He was on a mission from God. He was searching for people who had never heard about Jesus, and also for Catholics who were living in hiding, because it was illegal to be a Christian. Many families had to practice their faith in secret. They couldn't go to a big church. Instead, they would gather quietly in their homes. Father Thaddeus would arrive in a village, find the secret Christians, and bring them so much hope. He would celebrate Mass for them, hear their confessions, baptize their babies, and teach them about the Bible. He was like a spiritual superhero, bringing the light of Jesus into dark and hidden places. He reminded them that even though they had to be careful, God was always with them. He dedicated his life to this work. He knew it was risky. The government at that time thought that Christianity was a foreign religion and a threat to their power. They especially targeted priests because priests were the leaders of the Christian communities. But Father Thaddeus wasn't scared. His love for God and for his people was stronger than his fear. He knew that what he was doing was the most important job in the world. For many years, Father Thaddeus served his people with incredible love and dedication. He was a gentle and humble shepherd to his flock. But one day, the danger he had lived with for so long finally caught up with him. In the year 1821, someone who pretended to be a Christian betrayed him. This person told the authorities where to find Father Thaddeus. The soldiers came and arrested him, along with about 30 other believers. It was a very sad and scary moment. Father Thaddeus was thrown into prison. The prison wasn't a nice place. It was cold, dark, and scary. 2 whole years he was kept there. The guards tried everything to make him give up his faith. They tortured him, hoping he would break and say, okay, I'm not a Christian anymore. I'm not a priest. But Father Thaddeus's faith was as strong as a rock. During his trial, the judge asked him to renounce his faith, to deny Jesus. But Father Thaddeus stood tall and said, I am a priest of the Catholic Church. I have preached this religion. I will remain faithful to it until the end. He refused to step on a crucifix, which they demanded as a sign of rejecting Jesus. he would not betray the God who he loved so much. He also refused to give the names of any other Christians, protecting his flock even from inside the prison walls. The judge was furious. Since Father Thaddeus would not give up his faith, he was sentenced to death. On November 30th, 1823, the soldiers took him to the place of execution. Do you think he was sad or scared? The stories say he was actually full of peace and even happiness. He felt honored that God had found him worthy to die for his faith, just like the first apostles and martyrs. He knew that by dying for Jesus, he would soon be with Jesus in heaven forever. He was executed by strangulation, which was a common method at the time. As he died, he prayed, forgiving the people who had hurt him and betrayed him. He showed everyone what true Christian courage and love look like. The story of Father Thaddeus doesn't end there. His bravery was not forgotten. People remembered his incredible witness. Years later, the church began to investigate his life and martyrdom. They saw that he was a true saint, someone who lived a holy life and died for his love of Jesus. In the year 1900, Pope Leo XIII declared him blessed, which is a special step on the way to becoming a saint. And then, 100 years later, in the year 2000, Pope John Paul II officially canonized him. It means the whole world now recognizes him as Saint Thaddeus Liu Ruiting. He is one of a group of 120 brave men, women, and children known as the Martyr Saints of China. We celebrate his feast day every year on November 30th, the day he went home to heaven. So, what can we learn from this amazing saint? First, Saint Thaddeus teaches us about incredible courage. Being a follower of Jesus isn't always easy. Sometimes people might make fun of us for our faith, or we might be afraid to talk about God. Saint Thaddeus shows us that God gives us the strength to be brave, even when we are scared. Second, he teaches us about faithfulness. He promised to serve God as a priest, and he kept that promise even when it cost him his life. It reminds us to be faithful to the promises we make to God, like our baptismal promises, and to stay close to him in our daily lives through prayer and kindness. And finally, he teaches us about forgiveness. Even as he was being executed, he forgave those who were hurting him. That's a powerful lesson. Jesus taught us to love our enemies and pray for them, and Saint Thaddeus lived that out perfectly. Saint Thaddeus Liu Ruiting's life shows us that loving Jesus is the greatest adventure of all, and it's worth everything. His story is a beautiful reminder that no matter how difficult things get, God is always with us, giving us the peace, strength, and courage we need. Thank you so much for joining me today to learn about the incredible life of Saint Thaddeus Liu Ruiting. I hope his story has inspired you as much as it has inspired me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more stories of the saints, and share it with your friends. Until next time, may God bless you. Saint Thaddeus Liu Ruiting, pray for us. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and healthy as usual. Keeps on hungry for holiness.